you all know that you're worth this kind of encouragement and this kind of brotherliness. You have no doubt in your mind. And so does President Bush. And so do your daughters and your parents and your sons and your relatives and Aunt Minnie. Bless her soul. So, again, this is where it's at. When you believe the presentation, the ego presentations that another gives, and you bear witness to that, you are doing nothing to change the situation. And if you don't like the situation and you're doing nothing to change the situation, don't be mad at the bloke you're mad at. Take responsibility and do what will make a difference. Now, when somebody gives you an ego presentation that you don't like, and you confirm to him that he's a bastard, you've got a game going, and your behavior elicits more of the behavior you don't like. When I speak to you and share with you what's true about you, doesn't it elicit a different kind of behavior than the behavior your husband or your son or your daughter or your relative elicits from you? Doesn't it? You can make a difference by your response. And the difference will depend on whether that response is witnessing for what is true or witnessing for what is false. Because whatever you witness for, you convict that one too. And you can convict one to waking up. You can convict one to healing. Convict doesn't mean putting them down and proving it. When you convict someone the way I'm talking about, you inspire them to have a new conviction about life. They become convicted about something. You see what I'm saying? And you all have the means of convicting others into the very best about them. And if you're not doing that, then stop complaining because they're such bastards. Because you haven't been willing to stand there with them for them. Day after day, month after month, year after year, until your steadfast conviction so clearly expresses to them that what you're convicted about them must be true. And they say, okay, I believe it. I'm willing to stop thinking about myself the way I was thinking about myself. So, remember this. You can't witness for yourself, and your fellow man can't witness for himself. Someone else has to witness for him or her. Someone else has to witness for you. One-on-one, privately, the two of you together in front of someone else publicly. And you must be willing to do it because that's your function, to glorify God right there and pronounce it, express it out into the world, so to speak. Glorify God right there, because that's your function. We'll take a break. And God saw everything that he had made, and behold, it was good. And I've shared before that means, and God saw everything he had made, and behold, it was verily God. God, being, is a process, you might say, of God recognizing himself. So the movement of God is a movement of God being, which naturally takes form as God expressed or God expressing. And so the expression is in motion. God expressing and God seeing the expression and recognizing himself. God recognizing himself is God glorifying God. Now, if you are God expressed, then your function must be the same thing as the movement of creation is, which is God recognizing God, God glorifying God. And so that's why I say glorifying God is your function, which means recognizing God in each and every thing, you see. And that's why it's so important to be curious when you look at everything, like a leaf or a tree or a pair of eyeglasses, and not assuming you know what it's about if you're not seeing God there. And being curious to see what of God is there. Because that's the way you open yourself up to recognizing God in everything. And then you're no longer at odds with God by seeing what you have decided you want to call everything. You see? It's your function to glorify God because there's really nothing else for you to do except to recognize God in everything and bear witness to it. Okay. I've said enough. So, who has a question? Right here.
I just want to know then if when you go to the ocean and you walk on the beach, if that feeling, that connected feeling you get is what you're talking about as far as recognizing God?
That's part of it. Absolutely.
It's more than that though, huh?
Oh, yes. So you may know that you are connecting more fully, but if you realize there's even more, you can make a point of relaxing into the experience of the more by being inquisitive but not forceful and letting more register with you. Yes. Yes.
Can I ask But then that feeling that you want more and more and more of that in life, you know, and you can't always be in the position to get to that peace or that connection. You have to find it
The
somewhere
only
else.
position you have to be in is not really a physical one. It's a mental one. And there's more willingness. Your definitions of things allow you to feel as though it's easier at the beach or in nature than, in an asphalt parking lot or a concrete building. But see, that has to do with the definitions you're giving to asphalt and concrete and the motives of the men who have created asphalt, concrete jungles, etc., and so on. But the energy of the water and the energy of the sand, I mean, I'm talking about the actual, I will say, atomic energy. I'm talking about energy, is the same as the energy in the concrete and the asphalt. And God is just as much there. And your assumption that you're in a less desirable place or that you're in a place that's unnatural is what blocks you from being curious, you see. But I dare you to be curious in the most ridiculous places. Ridiculous by your definitions. Because there are delightful surprises waiting for you in a parking lot or at the supermarket or wherever, because God is there. At the very beginning, when Paul and I first began working together, he was on, their family was on food stamps, and he had to go to the office to pick up the food stamps once a month. And on one occasion, he was sitting in there waiting his turn, and he was noticing all the people, because there were well-dressed people who had come from work, who were in bad straits and were picking up food stamps. And then there were obviously poor people with worn clothing and unclean and etc. And there were children crawling around on the dirty floor that were not clean themselves, and there was sort of a full spectrum of humanity represented there. And he felt personally insulted to be there. It was like it was beneath him. It was awful for him to be in the position of having to be on food stamps and beg, etc. And he made the automatic assumption that there were other people who weren't insulted to be there, because that was their lot. And there was a lot of judgment. And while he was sitting there, an experience of illumination occurred, where every single one of the people there, including himself, became like orbs of light. And it was obvious to him from this experience, while it was happening, that the short, tall, fat, thin, clean, dirty, respectable, unrespectable people that he had seen, and the government office that wasn't kept as clean as it ought to be either, and was manned by people who were difficult and crotchety and unpleasant and etc., that all of these definitions were totally fallacious, because the divinity of them was obvious. There wasn't young and old, dirty and clean. Each was the full embodiment, you might say, of that which was divine. And he's been forever grateful for being in that office on that day, in that humiliating position, because he got one of the most profound glimpses of the divinity of everyone, and of the fact that his definitions and his choice of his way of seeing things was full of shit. meaningless, useless. Now, he hasn't recaptured that feeling at any time since, but that kind of an experience stays with you. And as I've told other people, when you've had the experience, you're primed for it to happen again. The point is, be curious. Wherever you are, in the most unlikely place, even when the place is one of great humiliation to you. Man's extremity is God's opportunity, the saying goes. When you're at the end of your rope, that's the place where God can register with you, usually because you've given up trying to authorize yourself. You've given up trying to authorize your life yourself. So, it's wonderful to have the experience at the seashore. But I want you to be curious to find it in the places you weren't expecting it. Because it awaits you as surely as it awaited Paul in the welfare office. Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're also damn sure you know what it's all about. And your definiteness about what you think everything is causes you to exercise zero curiosity. And in the absence of curiosity, no discoveries can be made. Hands. Right here.
Hi. I'm a little bit. Can I first just have confirmation that it's appropriate? Is it appropriate for me to ask about work? Not specifically now, but about work in the world.
Sure.
Okay. While you were speaking about witnessing, that was beautiful. Thank you. That was really nice. And I've been over the past many years exploring healing and medicine as something that I'm really drawn to I think, for work. And things like naturopathic medical school keep coming up for me, and then they keep not really quite happening. And through all of the exploration, I've come to a beautiful feeling inside about, or I'm moving along with, a beautiful feeling that is confirmed in what you're saying, that really what I want to do is just witness for people. And so I'm curious about the form.
But how
right.
are you going to witness
right.
for them?
So I guess my question is, am I in...
See, you could end up witnessing like Aaron Brockovich witnessed for the people.
I didn't know that story. Sorry.
See the movie.
Okay.
Sometimes it means you go up against the establishment on behalf of.
Right.
Sometimes it means that you put yourself in a position where you are able to provide practical help, because that is what witnesses for the dignity and integrity of the individuals you're involved with. And so it involves something more than ideas. It calls for implementation. Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay, so is it true, this feeling that I have inside, that at some point in time it's appropriate for me to witness with people, for people, in some type of medical realm?
That is correct.
Okay, so right now where I am I clear in my waiting per se, or am I clear in my not making a big move like committing to naturopathic medical school or something like that? Or do I need to be more active?
You are at a point of decision and of moving into action, and I would encourage you not to procrastinate.
Okay. Have I been procrastinating?
You have,
Yeah.
but you have more of a feel now for engaging in action.
Right. Can you tell me about, should I throw the naturopathic medical school idea? Is that not it?
That is it.
Well, do you mean really?
I lied.
Can I?
That is the truth.
Really?
That is the truth, that is appropriate for you. It is not the truth that I lied.
Can I talk about it, a little fear that I have with that?
Can you?
Yes, I'd love to.
Then do.
Okay, so you've spoken often about how we're most likely going to wake up in the next 10 years. Mm-hmm. And I created a little idea in my head that, gosh, if we're going to wake up that soon, if I commit to, school for 4 years and I'll be done 5 or 6 years from now, I only have 3 years to do this in practice, right?
So why not get a tent and go out on the hillside and wait out the 10 years?
Right. I know. I guess it's this fear that school is so stressful and it's all consuming and that I won't be able to do
but you see the difference. You're looking at the wear and tear on you rather than the commitment to your brothers. You see, the willingness to witness for that which is the best in them. And to be in a position where you can offer the best and help, you might say, upgrade their willingness to honor themselves and to be better, you see. So you must stay in the place where you are moved to action that blesses others. Mm-hmm. And if being able to bless others in this particular field of activity requires education, then make commitment to the education. The education you're really going to get is the inner education of learning persistence, commitment, follow through, all because you care about your brother and sister. And you're never going to lose the need for that, even when you're awake. And you'll find that the steps that you used, the steps that you took in your schooling will have educated, elicited from you, brought out from within you the clearer experience of your function, and it's literally primed you for waking up in 10 years.
So are these ideas lately that I've been having that, gosh, that specific type of schooling really isn't for me and maybe I should just be learning about energy work or something like that, is that?
A cop-out.
Yeah. Call. So now what do I do?
You find out how to implement these steps.
Yeah. And is it okay that I'm a little bit scared about that right now?
Sure.
Okay.
Just don't let it immobilize you.
Right. Well, I know the steps I can take. I mean, I can take them almost on autopilot for a while, even if I'm uncomfortable with it.
Of course.
And that's okay?
Of course.
Okay.
Always when you're enlarging the borders of your tent, it's a little uncomfortable because you embrace more of the unknown.
Mm-hmm.
But in doing that, and you explore the unknown, it becomes the known, and you're comfortable with the known. You see? Sure. Don't ever let a little bit of fear get in the way. Or apprehension.
Mm-hmm.
If you let it get in the way, you're going to keep your tent small.
Right.
If you let it get in the way, you're going to severely block waking up.
Right.
The only thing is that more and more people are going to wake up, and there's going to be less and less reinforcement for your sleeping, and so it's going to feel like the pressure for awakening is bigger and bigger, and it's going to seem more and more fearful because you're resisting so strongly, and eventually you're going to have to just say, oh hell, I'm going to go ahead and do it. It's too hard to not do it. So make it a little bit easier by letting there be a little bit of fear as you expand, not letting it get in your way, and exploring the new territory you're unfamiliar with, embracing it, making it your own. You know, because your tent just gives you a boundary to a tiny part of the infinitude of you. Each time this tent gets stretched, it's just a little bit more of you that's getting uncovered, and it's just a little more of you that you're afraid of, you see. So, a little bit of fear, a lot of fear, who cares? Stretch the tent.
Okay.
It's all you. Fear is not a justification for keeping your tent small.
Okay.
You see, when the tent gets stretched and you actually go up to the edge of where the tent had been, and you look, you say, what, just like me? Oh, I recognize that. That's me. Oh. Wow. Wow. You know, self-recognition. It's like coming home. It's like becoming a little more whole. The only thing you're afraid of is a little bit more of you. All of you.
Right.
And when you have those experiences of tent stretching, and you discover that it's just more of you that you didn't know was you, and that's why you were afraid, then when the next tent stretching occurs, you say, hey, the last time it happened wasn't half bad. Excuse me. And you more willingly let the tent be stretched.
Mm-hmm.
And pretty soon you say, oh, I can tell the tent stretching is coming, and I know there's going to be a little bit of fear. Hey, I can handle it. And you don't resist it at all.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay. One last quick thing.
Okay.
Is there anything that I should be looking for to help me feel more fully the truth of what you're talking about as far as this decision specifically? Or am I just keep going?
Just stop pretending that you're spineless.
Mm-hmm.
That's all.
Just go for it.
Hey, that's it. Yes.
Okay.
Again, it's what are you witnessing to relative to yourself? Well, you can pretend that you're spineless and stand as a witness to that and confirm it, and